Welcome back, college football fans and Hawkeye fans alike, to another episode of the Touchdown Black and Gold vlog. I'm your host, Blair Parks, coming to you live from the studio, aka my basement. What another awesome episode I've got lined up for you this afternoon. Here it is, a Saturday afternoon in Missouri, and it is hot. I mean, when I checked right before coming on air, 94 degrees air temperature, but it feels like 118. Wow, I think even the devil himself would say, damn, it is hot up here. But the only thing we can do though, right around the corner, we do have some break from this. There's refreshing news that college football, the 2026 season, will be upon us very, very soon. And what I've got on tap for you today, as promised, if you tuned in to last week's episode, that this episode I am going to break down the Iowa Hawkeye regular season football schedule, from be counting down from 12 to 1 based on the 3 I's. What games offer the most interest, the most intrigue, and what I believe are the most important games. So this is basically based off of those 3 criteria, my opinions only. So what I ask for you is, if this is your first time with me, welcome. If you've been a previous viewer, you know how I roll, that this is only made possible by you, my fellow college football brothers and sisters, that this channel was made by the college football fan for the college football fan. And I always ask for and always welcome your feedback, your participation, because I need and want to hear from you. So please light up that comment section below in response to any of my hot takes or my opinions that I offer during today's episode. And anything that you're willing to do to help the channel grow, it is greatly appreciated. So please feel free, like, share, rate, subscribe, and as I already said, go ahead and comment below. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this. I'd say give me 30 minutes tops, and I'll go ahead and break down this the regular season schedule for the Iowa Hawkeyes this season, based on, once again, interest, intrigue, and importance. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get it, shall we? So coming in at number 12, no big surprise. I'm not going to say much about this game, but the Week 3 home game against FCS Northern Iowa, I mean, there's not much of any of the 3 I's with this one. I mean, to me, by Week 3, it's really kind of a glorified scrimmage. And I'm not trying to disrespect the Northern Iowa Panthers, their program or their fan base. I mean, hey, I know just like you do, if you are in tune with college football, you never want to sleep on the Missouri Valley Conference. It is the conference of champions at the FCS level, but I just don't think there's much to really get all that excited about as far as this game. It really comes down to it. The really only eye that I look at this is kind of the interest to see, hey, this is Iowa's last non-con game, so their last opportunity to get some reps in, to build some depth, also tweak and adjust the roster before conference play opens up the following week in Week 4. So at number 12, I've got Week 3 at home against Northern Iowa. Now, number 11, this might be a shocker to some of you, and please get involved below. Let me know what you think. Thank you for all that you have done and will do for the channel. At number 11, I've got a late season conference game, that's right, at home against Purdue. Now, looking at this game from a interest, intrigue, and importance standpoint, it's just difficult to really get up and excited for this one as of right now. Come late in the season, based on how the season unfolds for Iowa, and even maybe for Purdue. I mean, I do think Barry Odom is a solid coach. I just think he needs to be given adequate time. I mean, building something there in West Lafayette is difficult, but Purdue has been really bad the last few seasons. I mean, they are going to get better, But this could be an important game based on just getting bowl eligible, but also your increasing your bowl resume as well. Because we all know, if you're a Hawkeye fan, we've got some yips, we've got some doubts, some hesitations and worries about how our quarterback position and how the QB room is going to play out. So this could be an important game just for bowl eligibility, not just for Iowa, but maybe also for Purdue. But as of right now, it's just difficult to really get excited for this one. I mean, more than likely, this is a game I won't watch live. I probably will be by then at the end, it's late fall. I want to be out in the foliage, getting some hiking in, some late season golf here in Missouri, and just get out and enjoy myself a little bit. But we'll see. All right, so that's number 11. Moving on to number 10. Third on my list, I've got the season opener on Labor Day weekend, week 1 at home against Northern Illinois, the other NIU team they are playing. Northern Illinois, they open up at home against Kinnick against the Huskies. And the reason why I've got this one ahead of Purdue is just because it's opening weekend. The interest, the intrigue is there. I want to see how some of these new cats on the roster, how they can play. Does their offense look good? Does their defense come out ready to play? The special teams? And plus, it's just a long off season. I know that Northern Illinois is an inferior opponent. I mean, that's no disrespect once again, but it's great to just have college football back on Labor Day weekend. So that's why I've got at number 10 the game against the Huskies from Northern Illinois, who transitioned in the offseason from the MAC to the Mountain West. So best of luck to the Huskies in the Mountain West. I mean, I think it's going to be a good move from Northern Illinois. I think it really will be. And I followed their program growing up in Northwest Illinois. I mean, DeKalb was a stone's throw away. So I do know about their history. And they do have a good, solid football history at NIU. But I've got that game at number 10. So let's go ahead and move on. So number 9 on my list for Iowa's regular season schedule based on interest, intrigue, and importance, I've got the game mid-season at Northwestern in Evanston up there in the Chicago suburbs. And the game against Northwestern, it does have a little bit of all three, interest, intrigue, and importance, because it's a brand new stadium. I mean, if you've seen some of the renderings and the diagrams and the pictures and what this is going to look like, it's immaculate. And there is a big contingent of Iowa alumni in the Chicagoland area and in Chicago itself. And Hawkeye fans, we always travel well. And that's the one thing that you're going to hear that later on in this list as well. But the game at Northwestern, I think it is a road game that Iowa could come home with the W, flying back to Iowa City. But Iowa fans, we know how Northwestern has always been that thorn in our side once upon a time, primarily during the Pat Fitzgerald regime. And by the way, welcome back to Coach Patty taking over there at Michigan State. I think that's a match made in heaven. Hopefully he doesn't get a lot of traction just for Iowa's sake, but it is great to have Coach Fitzgerald back in action, all right, in the Big Ten, especially here in the Midwest. But so number 9, the game at Northwestern. Like I said, I think it could be an important game because I think Iowa, based on what we have on the roster and what we know and don't know, what we feel good about and maybe not so good about, it's going to be difficult, I believe, to get some road victories. And this is one I think that they can get under their belt, but we'll have to wait and see. So I got the midseason game at number 9 at Northwestern. Let's go ahead and move on. Please let me know what you think. Light up that comment section. Smash that subscribe button. Let me know how I'm doing. If there's anything that I have missed or you agree or disagree with my takes, please let me know about it. All I ask is Please, let's just all get along. We all know how to act and be adults. That's all I ask. And if you do, I promise I will get back to each and every one of you much sooner than later via those comments. So go ahead, get involved, exercise your right. I want to hear your college football voice. So let's move on with my list. Coming in at number 8. And I'm telling you, the next two I could have flip-flopped. I was in between 8 and 7, 7 and 8. But at number 8, and I never thought I would say this, this is one of those that, wow. I mean, when you look at 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, I mean, I'm 45 years old. I've been a fan of Iowa football and college football since I was 7, 8 years old, all right? I never thought that I would be putting this annual matchup where it is at number 8, but I've got the homecoming game in Kinnick against the Wisconsin Badgers, our rival, our first of 3 rivalry games that we play that I will list in this upcoming list for the Heartland Trophy. And once again, back in the day, I mean, this was the big rivalry, especially in the Big Ten West days. When it came down to it, generally whoever won this matchup for the Heartland Trophy between Wisconsin and Iowa, they were in that proverbial driver's seat to get to Indianapolis to represent the Big Ten West. So primarily it went through either Madison or Iowa City. Now, there were a couple of years where Northwestern was able to get it done and Purdue, but generally it was this game meant the most for the Big Ten West race. But we've had some hard times in Madison. We all know what's happened up there, and I am completely flabbergasted still. I mean, Coach Luke Fickell, when he was hired 4 years ago, I thought that was a slam dunk hire. I thought that was so much better than Nebraska hiring Matt Rule, and I was very afraid. I've seen what Luke Fickell did at Ohio State, of course at Cincinnati, breaking that glass ceiling in the 4-team playoff, taking a group of 6 team to the college football playoff. So I thought that was going to be Danger Will Robinson for Iowa, just getting Luke Fickell there with the resources and everything that he would have had, that he has available to him there. But it has just not worked out. He has gotten 0 traction there. I think I was uber surprised that he was not fired during the offseason, but he is back, and I think he is unfortunately dead man walking. I think it's really a question of when, not if, as far as his dismissal, whether it's during the season or during the offseason at the end of the upcoming year. But, man, I never thought I would have put Wisconsin this low. It's just, I mean, and Iowa has had their way with them as of late. It has been so one-sided on the field and also on the scoreboard. I mean, it's almost like you feel a little bit sorry for the Badgers after facing off with the Hawkeyes here the last few years. But we'll see what happens, all right? Especially, you know, how these two teams mirror each other so much. They have the same type of styles, cultures. Well, they did once upon a time, and that's why this was a must-see TV, must-watch game, because each team would try to out-Iowa each other, especially with the overlaps. Barry Alvarez, the legendary coach at Wisconsin, once upon a time a coordinator at Iowa, and then Coach Brett Bielema, who's now coaching at Illinois, when he was on the sideline at Wisconsin, played at Iowa, has an Iowa tattoo that he never got removed. So there is a lot of overlap. There's a lot of relationship between these two programs. But since Luke Fickell took over, trying to install a little bit of a semi-air raid offense, it just hasn't worked out. But anyway, that's enough said. I've got Wisconsin at number 8, and I'm sure some of you are going to disagree with that, especially some older gens like myself, to where this was the rivalry game that was most on our radar in conference anyway. It just was. That's how we were programmed, but like a lot of you, I've kind of gotten away from it lately. So feel free to let me know what you think about that, having Wisconsin number 8. Number 7. So once again, I was going back and forth between these two, but I have the late season matchup in Champaign against the Fighting Illini. I've got the Illinois game at Illinois, number 7. And here's why. Lately, these teams have been more of college basketball rivals, all right? But for me, this is a turn the clock back kind of game, all right? I love this matchup. I mean, I know when the Big Ten decided to give Iowa not 1, not 2, but 3 annual protected rivalry games, I would have been okay with having Illinois be one of those 3 compared to others, but I didn't have a say-so in that. But it's good. I love that these teams are meeting up, and I wish they did meet up every year, but I am really interested and intrigued. This can be an important game because it's the second to last game of the year. At this point, hopefully Iowa is bowl eligible. Maybe they can improve their seeding, their ranking, their bowl profile. And also, I plan on being in attendance for this game. I'm going to meet up with some friends, some of them who went to University of Illinois. So I can't wait to be there. In the cold, whether it's snowing or raining, yours truly will be in attendance there in Champaign-Urbana. But it just reminds me of my childhood. I mean, going back, if you could go to the time machine, hop in the DeLorean, go back to the mid-'80s through the mid-'90s. I mean, this was, and where I grew up in Northwest Illinois, you were watching this matchup. And that was a great era for both Illinois and Iowa athletics, both football and basketball. These teams were not good, they were great. So you watched all of those matchups. And plus, where I grew up in the Quad Cities, that as a child at my elementary school and also my junior high, we had Illinois-Iowa Day the Friday before these two teams would meet on the gridiron. So you would, you dress up in your Illinois gear if you cheer for the Fighting Illini, or your black and gold if you were a Hawk fan. And yeah, there were generally more Illinois fans than Iowa fans on the Illinois side of the Quad Cities, but it was great. I loved it. It was like a tradition. So this game does mean a lot to me. It checks all 3 boxes: interest, intrigue, and importance, and I can't wait to be there watching it in Champaign-Urbana. So if you happen to see me there, go and give your boy a holla, by the way. All right, so let me know what you think about that, having Illinois at number 7. Moving on, number 6 on my list, counting down from 12 to 1, breaking down Iowa's regular season schedule, 12 to 1 as far as interest, intrigue, and importance. This is going to maybe rub some folks the wrong way, but hear me out. Number 6, I've got the Big Ten opener at Kinnick Stadium against the Ohio State Buckeyes. Here's why. There's plenty of interest, plenty of intrigue. I mean, it's Ohio State. This is the best roster that Iowa, the best team they'll play all season long, all right? But the importance of it, Iowa fans, let's just face it, we're probably looking at an L in this game. I mean, we are not on their level as far as how they recruit, the talent they have. Granted, I'm not saying we're just going to roll over and die. Don't expect that from the Hawkeyes at Kinnick Stadium. But we all know the history between these two. There's very little history looking at it from the perspective of an Iowa fan. I mean, Ohio State's basically our daddy. I mean, whenever it's really been important for us to defeat them, we can't. We seem to normally knock them off on years when it doesn't really help us, okay? So that's why I'm putting them right in the middle of this list at number 6. Not a slight at them. I mean, they're a great team, and I expect good things from Ohio State this season, possibly a college football playoff berth. You'll have to watch a later episode for that, but I just think the importance, only if they end up being, 4-0 coming into this game, if they're able to win at Michigan the week before, then maybe it becomes a little more important, but I'm not expecting much from this game. I expect Iowa to have a good showing. That's really all I want. Make them work for it. And I think facing a team like this early, will help this young Iowa team, especially at the QB position and the defensive line position, grow, okay? And if you're not familiar with Iowa's regular season schedule, it's brutal. The first 3 games of Big Ten play. They arguably play the three hardest teams that they will play in consecutive weeks. Actually, they play all three of them in only 13 days. I mean, they open up Big Ten play at the Big House against Michigan, at home against Ohio State, and then travel on the road a Friday night game at Washington. I mean, the Big Ten Conference in Chicago, those folks did no favors for Iowa this year in conference scheduling. But the second half of the season is a little bit more backloaded, a little bit lighter, all right? So I've got Ohio State number 6 because the importance, I don't think it really will be there, but we'll see. Maybe I'll be wrong, all right? So moving on, number 5, and I thought about maybe putting this one a little bit higher, but it's really in kind of, to me, to pay homage to my father, the man who introduced all things Iowa athletics to me as a young man. He is no longer with us, but I think it's a huge game. It's interesting. It's got intrigue. It's very important. I'm talking about, I believe it is the week 7, or it's actually week 8, but it's Iowa's 7th game of the year. They open up coming off of a bye week after that gauntlet schedule at Michigan, Ohio State, at Washington, bye week. Then they're on the road in the Twin Cities to take on the Minnesota Golden Gophers and PJ Fleck up there rowing the boat. And this really is for my dad. I mean, I love him, as he did, the battle for the Divine Swine, the Floyd of Rosedale trophy in all of its glory. I still think it's the greatest rivalry trophy in all of the land. Yes, I might be a little biased on that, but I think it's awesome. It's the second of the 3 conference rivalry games that we play. And I think it's a huge game because if Iowa can win one of those 3 games previously, as I mentioned, Michigan, Ohio State, Washington, this win could really at least still keep them in the potential playoff race. If Iowa goes 10-2, they're going to make the college football playoff. Now, I'm not saying at this point that they will, but I'm saying that if they just win one of those 3, or it's probably more likely that they lose all 3 of those games. So that's why coming off of a bye, they have got to get it right. They've got to get that ship back on path. They can't be lost like Odysseus and his crew coming back from the Trojan War. If you haven't seen the Odyssey, go see it, by the way. So I think this is a huge game. That's why I've got it number 5 as far as interest, intrigue, and importance, because Iowa at this point might be needing a victory to get themselves right and to get back on track and to gain some confidence. And plus, Iowa is 8-1 since PJ Fleck took over up in Minnesota, so they've really kind of had Minnesota's number. I mean, PJ Fleck always tries to out Iowa and out Coach Kirk Ferentz at his own game. It seems to never work out for PJ. I mean, I like him, but I think his time is kind of coming up to shortly there at Minnesota. I think he actually is looking to leave for a better job, better horizons at some point, sooner than later. But it's just a big game for that 3-game schedule that Iowa has, a bye week. They've got to get this one up in the Twin Cities, all right? And plus, it's for Dad. I mean, one of the things he would say 2 things to me and my brother every year during Iowa football season. One of those 2 things was, hey, at least we got the pig. Regardless of how our record was, one of the 2 things he would say is, hey, at least we got the pig. And the other thing, I'll mention that here shortly because it deals with another team later on in this list that Iowa is playing. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to number 4 on my list as far as interest, intrigue, and importance. Please light up that comment section below. Thank you for all that you do. I can't wait to hear from you and to get back to you. I've got that aforementioned night game, Friday night game in Seattle at Washington against the Huskies. I mean, what an exciting environment. I mean, it is the last game of that three-game gauntlet for Iowa early in the season. It's a Friday night game, as I said, so all eyes are going to be on this game, kind of like Tupac. All eyes on me. All eyes across the country are going to be on this game. I believe it's an 8 p.m. kickoff Central Time. here in my time zone. So most all of you are going to be watching this game. And I used to not really care for the Friday night games, but they've grown on me. I actually do like them because then, hey, it opens me up on Saturday for other potential games. And hey, I don't have to worry about flipping through so much. So I kind of dig the Friday night games, but I only like Iowa to play one a year, which is what they've been doing. And I'm okay with that. More than that, I'd have a little bit of a problem. But anyway, going to Washington, what an exciting environment. We know how picturesque it is, beautiful, right there off the Sound. You know, people can boat and dock there right next to the stadium. But we know how loud that environment gets. I mean, the World Cup just proved that a few weeks ago, all right? And we know that crowd up in Seattle for any of their sports is off the chain. So Iowa will be tested. Damon Williams Jr. is an excellent quarterback for Washington. I think they will open the season in the preseason top 25. There will be a good contingent of Iowa fans there, but this is really the kind of game we want to see. This is what we were excited about when additional expansion happened 3 years ago, adding the West Coast teams. That we get to go on the road and watch games like this, whether it's in person or from our comfort of our homes on television. So I think it is an awesome environment. I can't wait to watch Iowa play. And it does wrap up that 3-game gauntlet. And a lot of people believe, and I'm not going to tell you, but a lot of Iowa fans believe, and also media personalities, the so-called experts, that of those 3 games, at Michigan, Ohio State, at Washington, this is Iowa's best chance to get a victory. I think they can get this one done, but I think there's another game that there's better odds for Iowa to get done. And that's coming up here very soon on this list. So at number 4, I got the game at Washington. Let me know what you think about that. Number 3 on my list, and this is the highest of interest, intrigue, and importance to me as far as the annual 3 conference games we have against our rivals. I'm talking about the Black Friday game in Kinnick Stadium against Nebraska, against Big Red for the Heroes Trophy. And this rivalry has really become very heated and emotional within the last 10 years between the players, the fans, the programs. Being 45, I always believed that Wisconsin was Iowa's biggest conference rival, then Minnesota. But now you ask a lot of the 20 and 30 somethings who really grew up with this rivalry, this is the game they want. And I think Nebraska fans feel the same way too, but this has really grown on me. And I once upon a time said, I have no beef with any program, any fan base. Yes. Am I a fan of some more than others? Yes. But hey, I'm an Iowa fan, but first and foremost, I'm a college football fan, okay? But there's just pure hatred between some of the Nebraska and Iowa fans. So this has become the biggest conference rivalry game, I believe, every year. I mean, it just has. I mean, it's, even though it really, quite frankly, hasn't been much of a rivalry, since Iowa has won 10 of the last 11 and 11 of the 14 since Nebraska joined the Big Ten. And that's not me smearing it in the faces of Big Red fans. That's just fact. All right. And once upon a time, I said this was a rivalry that maybe nobody wanted. It was forced upon both programs when Nebraska joined the conference, and it made sense being border states. There are a lot of shared fans in each state, but it was something that was forced on us. And a lot of us older Hawkeye fans, we don't really see this as a major rivalry game. It's a good game. We like seeing it, but it's really grown on me lately. And I think this is a game that Iowa really needs to have. And I think Nebraska's really going to need to have this game too, because from an Iowa perspective, what do you need to do? The teams you play every year, you want to do whatever you can to keep them down. And Nebraska is kind of just there in neutral. They're in much better position now under Coach Rule than they were under Coach Frost, Coach Riley, Coach Callahan. all of those fools that they hired, but they're still not really moving anywhere. And the best way to keep them there is beat them on the gridiron. Take it to them, get that dub flat out. And the same thing for Nebraska fans. They want this game. They're tired of 6 and 7 wins, and a lot of them are just simply sick and tired of losing consistently to Iowa. So, huge game. I cannot wait to watch this one. That's one I have to watch every single year. I don't care where I am. I don't care what family's around. I'm watching that game live, period. Even regardless of what my kids are doing, I'm watching that game on Black Friday. All right? So here we go. We're down to 2. Then there were 2. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves, right? Thunderdome style. Number 2. All right. Thank you, number 2. I've got the annual Cy-Hawk Trophy game, my number 2 on this list of Iowa's most interesting, intriguing, and important games. Week 2, the game against Iowa State, and this one cannot be overstated. First of all, I plan on being in attendance for this game as well. It's the game I will be seeing this year in Iowa City. I haven't seen Iowa play the Clones in a long time. But speaking of a long time, Iowa State has won 3 of the last 4 in this rivalry game, and Iowa hasn't defeated Iowa State in Cy-Kinnick since 2018. Now, to be fair, the 2020 season, the COVID year, they did not play that matchup. It was conference only, so they did not play that year in Kinnick, but the Iowa fans have not seen Iowa win this rivalry game since 18. Okay, that's a long time, all right? And this is Iowa's best chance. Matt Campbell has gone. I mean, what a great, successful administration and career and time he had there in Ames. And he took 25, I think, players with him, a lot of good players, including his starting quarterback, Rocco Becht. So this is a game Iowa has to have. I mean, they have to have this game. Even though it's week 2, it really is must win. I mean, for themselves, but especially for us, the fans. If they lose this game, it might start to unravel things. We're going to have huge doubts and concerns. And you know what? If they do happen to lose this game again at home to the Cyclones, there's going to be some talk about, Coach KF maybe might need to go. All right, and those conversations will absolutely start heating up and getting a lot louder if Iowa loses again to Iowa State. So I think this is a huge game. I mean, as of right now, the last time I checked yesterday, the point spread for this game is 12.5. Iowa's favored by 13 points. I think they can cover, but I don't think Iowa State's going to be as bad as what people think. I think Coach Rogers is a solid coach. I think they will get to 6 wins. I think some people doubt that, 6 or 7, but hopefully not at Iowa's expense. And this is a must-win game for Iowa. We have to have this one. Our quarterbacks have to at least prove to us and themselves and their teammates, whoever comes out on top of this QB battle, they have to prove they can get it done against a legit opponent, at least a fellow Power 4 opponent, because shortly after that, you're going to have that 3-game gauntlet to open the Big Ten. All right, so number 2, I've got the Iowa State game at home. Let me know what you think about that, Hawkeye fans, Cyclone fans. Hey, do you agree or disagree with this list? Go ahead and let me know. Like, share, rate, subscribe. Appreciate you. This brings us to number 1. The curtain is going up. The only game remaining is the Week 4 contest. The most important, intriguing, and interesting game for me is number 1 at Michigan when Iowa travels to the Big House, the Big Ten opener, the first of that 3-game challenging stretch. And I think this is the most important game of the year for Iowa, because I think this is a game that Iowa can get done. I think they have a better chance to win this game on the road early in the year than a couple weeks later at Washington, because we all know the house of horrors that the West Coast has been for Iowa as well. It just has been, most of my lifetime anyway. But this is a game I think they can win, because Michigan is kind of has their doubts, their hesitations as well. They know what they have, but they also have some worries. I mean, this is first-year coach Kyle Whittingham. Nothing on him. He's a Hall of Fame coach. All right. Him and Iowa coach Ferentz, they play very similar styles of football. I mean, a couple of years ago on one of these episodes, I said I would love to have Utah and Iowa play frequently in non-conference because they're basically the same type of team, the same type of identity, same styles, everything. So I think it's going to be a good matchup. But they also have, their young quarterback, Bryce Underwood. This is his second season. He does need to improve. Iowa's quarterback situation, we don't know what it's going to look like by then. So I think Iowa does have a shot to win this game. And it's huge. If Iowa can just win one of those three games at Michigan, Ohio State, at Washington, and then take care of business, maybe go 10-2, 9-3. It's going to be a good season. 10-2 might even get them into the CFP. It might. That's why I think this is their best chance to get one of those three games in that three-game stretch. I can't wait to watch it. I mean, I love Coach Whittingham. I've been saying for years here to all of you, one of the best unknown, under-the-radar coaches in our sport. I mean, he's a great coach. I don't think he'll be there long at Michigan. I think he's just a transitional piece. But, man, this is going to be a game that's going to be physical and won on the lines of scrimmage. That's just how these two coaches coach. I can't wait. This is going to be a throwback game, like a 20-17, 23-20 type game. It's going to be an awesome game to watch. And plus, when you look back at the history, the history between Iowa and Michigan, well, take away the last two Big Ten Conference championship games, they are always at least three-quarter games. Iowa hasn't won all of those. But when you look at the last 10 times that Iowa's gone to the Big House, they've won 3 of them. And I think the average loss was 13 points. So they've been close. Iowa and Michigan they play competitive games. So that's why I think Iowa does have a good shot to get this done. I just do. But as far as the second thing, why this is also another homage and tribute to my father, rest his soul. One thing I already told you he would say every year, hey, at least we got the pig if Iowa happened to defeat Minnesota that season. And the other thing he always wished, and hey, I'm saying right now, I do not share this dislike or these thoughts about the Michigan fans and program. I do not. But Dad would always say, hey, at least we got the pig, and let's go ahead and ruin Michigan's chances of getting to the Rose Bowl game. So this was always the game he wanted Iowa to win too. So kind of personal for me as well. But that's it, guys. That's my list, 12-1, breaking down Iowa's regular season schedule based on interest, intrigue, and importance. Please let me know what you think about this list. Do you agree? Disagree? Hey, Blair, I'd like to have this team higher, this game lower. Or, hey, you forgot to mention this about this matchup. Please let me know, because without you, none of this is possible. I thank you, as I always do, for your time, your attention. I will be back later this week. I mean, it is hot here in Missouri, as I already mentioned, but hey, we've got some coaches on even hotter hot seats, and that's going to be my episode later this week, probably Thursday or Friday. I'll give you, coming into the season, the 6 coaches who are on the hottest of all hot seats entering the 2026 season. So until then, please comment, like, share, rate, subscribe. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, your upcoming work week, and I'll see you very soon on the next episode of the Touchdown Black and Gold vlog. And as always, go Hawks. See you then. Bye-bye.